Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gabi and today we're finally doing the best cherry fragrances of all time. I've gotten here lots of fragrances that have a very strong cherry note. So many of you asked me to do this video because probably you already know that I love this note and I have so many fragrances that feature this note. We're gonna do some fragrances that obviously have a cherry note, and then I'm gonna talk about the ones that remind me of Tom Ford Lost Cherry, because right now on the market there's so many perfumes that have a similar vibe, and there's so many cherry perfumes, and it can be a bit overwhelming, you know. So today I'm gonna let you know everything, what I think about all of this, if they're worth the hype, if they're not, which ones are good, which ones are just meh, and all of that. So before we start, if you like this video, don't forget the big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and now let's jump in. Alright, like I said, we're gonna start with the fragrances that have a very strong cherry note, but they don't smell like Tom Ford Lost Cherry. The first one, we have an oldie but a goodie, La Petite Robe Noire from Guerlain. This fragrance it's been on the market for a long time, alright? And it's such a beautiful scent. What I'm getting is this almost watery sour cherry, very cold with lots of licorice. You need to like licorice, alright? Don't think this is gonna be just a playful super sweet cherry. No, it's quite cold, it's not very sweet, and that licorice note is there. I do really like it. I've tested other versions of this. Obviously the intense version is more like a blueberry for me, but the ones that have the cherry note, I like them, but this one is my favorite. Such a beautiful one, such a unique fragrance. I don't have anything that smells like this in my collection, and yeah, it's just a fragrance that I really like. La Petite Robe Noire from Guerlain. Next we have Scandale by Night from Jean Paul Gaultier. This is not just cherry, okay? Cherry is just, it's just a note in the background. This is mainly super sweet, sticky honey with a bit of cherry and a bit of tuberose. You can smell the cherry, you can smell the tuberose, but it's mainly a honey perfume. Very sweet, intoxicating, sticky sweet, like syrupy. It generally has a texture of honey. You need to try it. Again, don't buy it just because you see cherry in it, and it's mainly honey. It's not necessarily just cherry, but you're getting that like cherry sweetness in the background with this floral nuance that's coming from the tuberose. I do really like it. It's discontinued, you can still find it. I feel like you can still find it to test in stores, but yeah, it's a good one. Scandale by Night from Jean Paul Gaultier. Next we have the new release from Lancome. This one is Lancome La Nuit TRESOR Intense. For me, this is basically a la folie. The vanilla is just not as creamy with a cherry note. The cherry is not super strong, but it's not an artificial cherry. Normally with cherry in designers, I've tested other fragrances from designers that obviously had a strong cherry note, and it felt like way too artificial. This one, it really gives me La Nuit TRESOR à la folie, but it has this cherry, playful, girly vibe as well. I do really like it. Like, I'm not mad, super mad that they discontinued à la folie, but they released this one, so I'm not mad because this one is very good as well. La Nuit TRESOR Intense. Next we have KHALTAT Night from ATTAR collection. KHALTAT Night is basically, in my opinion, same DNA as Angel Share from Kilian, not as boozy as Angel Share, and then you're getting some cherry in the background. It's mainly this like boozy apple pie with some cinnamon, and then you're getting that cherry in the background as well. This is the only fragrance that reminds me of Angel Share and that I actually like, alright? There's so many perfumes that have a similar vibe. It's not that I don't like them, they're just not for me. I like them when I smell them from the bottle, but then as soon as I put them on my skin, they just don't represent me. This one with that added cherry, It's just everything that I wanted. I do really like it. It's beast mode. It lasts like the whole day. I think the 100ml, I paid for this one for like around like £90. I feel like it's a fair price. It's a good price, especially because it lasts the whole day. KHALTAT Night from ATTAR collection. Next we have one of my favorites, okay, BDK Rouge Smoking. Rouge Smoking, it's a fragrance that people are just going nuts about this fragrance, alright? It has something so sexy in it. And it's cherry, but it's this cozy, I think it has some tonka bean if I'm not wrong. I'm getting some pepper maybe, because it has this spiciness, but it's very soft, it's very velvety. The cherry is there, but it doesn't smell like Tom Ford. Again, it's not that type of cherry. It's a scent that you need to try. It's to die for. It's amazing. It doesn't smell like any other cherry fragrances that are on the market right now. Definitely has some peppering, definitely has some tonka bean. I don't know the notes right now, but I'm definitely getting these two notes. Besides the cherry, obviously. It's very comforting and so sexy in the same time. It's amazing. It's delicious, but it's not like full-on gourmand. You need to try this. You absolutely need to try this. It's a masterpiece. It's amazing. It's beautiful. BDK Rouge Smoking. Next we have from MELEG Very Cherry Rose Chocolate Patchouli. This fragrance for me, it's a super sweet jammy rose. Again, beast mode with a cherry note that you can definitely smell. It has a bit of chocolate in the background and just a tiny bit of patchouli in the background as well. But mainly for me, this is like a super sweet jammy rose with lots of cherry. Absolutely love it. It's complete beast mode. It's stunning. If you like jammy roses and if you like cherry notes, you're absolutely gonna love this one. The cherry maybe it's slightly similar to Tom Ford, but then you're getting that rose, that like jammy rose that is very strong. So that's why I put it in here, because you can definitely smell the differences between this one and Tom Ford Lost Cherry. But that rose, it's to die for. I love it so much. Again, if you like jammy roses, if you like cherries, you need to get your hands on this one, especially because same story with the last one. It's complete beast mode. And the last one that we have, it's a fragrance that actually doesn't have a cherry note, and people were saying that it smelled cherry. The first time when I smelled it, I didn't smell any cherry. I smelled just almond. Okay, almonds and cherries can smell very similar sometimes. And now that I start to wear it more and to test it more, I realized that maybe it has a hint of cherry. It's still almond, for me it's still almond, but it has maybe a hint of cherry. So that's why maybe on other skins, maybe on other people, it's gonna smell more like cherry. I'm talking about SORA, DORA, MANDORLE. I know this has been like quite hyped up recently, but for all of the good reasons, okay? It has a suede or leather note. I'm smelling suede. This is the fragrance that basically opened my eyes, okay? And let me try other fragrances that have a suede note, because I have another one in here and I actually purchased another fragrance that is basically just like suede, because it's not that animalic, I know, too masculine. It's not that. It's a very smooth suede with this almond that has maybe a touch of cherry in it. It's beast mode again. It's very sexy. And the almond is like, again, it has this like cherry quality, but it's very creamy. Like super creamy. And the suede, like it feels very velvety. Like this is the texture that I'm getting with this perfume. Very sexy, like nighttime. It gives me, like Catwoman vibes. This is what I'm getting with this fragrance. super sexy, not like super sweet. Don't think it's gonna be that type of gourmand where it's super sweet. It's not, because obviously it has a suede note, but it's so smooth and so, it's amazing, it's amazing, it's so sexy. Mandorle from SORA DORA. Now, let's move on to Tom Ford Lost Cherry and other perfumes that people are comparing them to Tom Ford Lost Cherry. We have it here. Tom Ford Lost Cherry, the fragrance that everyone either loves or hates because it doesn't last. Tom Ford Lost Cherry is this, obviously, super sweet cherry, a bit sour, and it's very fizzy in the same time. It's beautiful. I love it, okay? I love it. I know that it doesn't last and doesn't project. If you wear it inside, this is what happened to me. If I wore this one outside in the cold, nothing. Like nothing, I cannot smell it, nothing. But inside, I can actually smell it. And people around me can smell it. It's that beautiful, sweet, sour cherry, a bit fizzy. I love it. I love it. It's nothing too complex. It's a cherry scent. It doesn't smell cheap. It doesn't smell immature. Nothing like that. It's delicious. I love it. Next, I'm gonna put them in here with the paper so I can go back to them. ZARA Cherry Smoothie. This one, people went crazy with this, okay? Because everyone was like, this is a perfect dupe for Tom Ford Lost Cherry. It's similar. It's very similar. Oh, but it's not a dupe. It's just not as sweet, not as fizzy. The cherry feels a bit flat. That's the thing. I actually am planning to sell this one because I know so many people are looking for it. ZARA is releasing fragrances and then 2 months later they're gone, okay? For a cheapie, for an alternative to Lost Cherry, if you're on a budget, this one is doing the job, okay? They don't smell the same, but it's giving you that vibe, that Tom Ford Lost Cherry vibe. I like it. I do much more prefer Tom Ford Lost Cherry. You can tell that that one is more expensive, way more expensive. I'm not gonna say this is a bad fragrance by any means, because especially for the price, I feel like they did such a great job. But it's not my favorite. If I can have the original thing, I'm gonna have it. If you cannot, this one is generally doing the job. Pretty impossible to find it right now because it's gone. So yeah, this is something that I don't really like about ZARA fragrances. Maybe you're gonna fall in love with the fragrance and then 2 months later, bye-bye, I'm gone. You'll never see me again. I hate that. Right, let's move on. Let's move on to, I have some samples as well. From BOHOBOCO Wet Cherry Liquor. I really wanted to love this fragrance, and I do in the opening. Listen, this is a boozy cherry, okay? But someone in on Fragrantica said that this is a drunk cherry, and it is. The opening is so boozy, like so boozy. It generally feels like a cherry that drank too much and now is like drunk, and like this is what I imagine when I smell this. And I love that. I love that. It's very flirty. It's a bit like risky, you know? Like it feels very sexy, but very in that way. But then, in the dry down, it's getting very similar to Tom Ford Lost Cherry, which really annoys me because I really like that opening. That opening is not gonna be for everyone, alright? Like, it's not gonna be for everyone because it's very boozy. Like, very boozy. But then in the dry down, like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes later, it's very similar to Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Nothing wrong with that. If you don't have Tom Ford Lost Cherry, maybe get your hands on this, but I'm telling you, that opening is super boozy. And very sexy, and, you know, it's not gonna be for everyone. I do really like it. I'm just quite annoyed that it's getting that similar to Lost Cherry, but I do really like that one as well. Next we have from Olfactive Studio Close Up. Close Up, again, the opening doesn't give me Lost Cherry vibes, but then the dry down, different story. This is cherry and coffee. Alright? I really like it. The coffee doesn't feel too, I don't know, too coffee, like too black coffee, doesn't feel that. It feels like you're making a coffee and then, I don't know how good that would be, like coffee with like cherry syrup. In a fragrance is good, like I really like it, but then again in the dry down, I'll say with this one half an hour, not 5-10 minutes, half an hour. That coffee is gone and you're left with that like cherry that's very similar to Tom Ford. It also has, because I'm smelling them, Atlas Cedar. I'm definitely getting this like woody background. Has Atlas Cedar, have cedar wood, has some tobacco, definitely getting the tobacco as well. So this one is a very complex fragrance, especially in the opening. The first 30 minutes is quite a complex fragrance. But then the dry down is getting way too similar, and I have so many that smell similar to Tom Ford Lost Cherry, and I don't need another one. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Overall, it's a beautiful scent. Next. Next. LOVEFEST KAYALI. LOVEFEST KAYALI, when I first got it, I wasn't crazy about it because I feel like my bottle didn't macerate enough. Because all I can smell was Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I have Tom Ford Lost Cherry here. This one is definitely sweeter. This is supposed to have this like burning quality that when I first got it, I was not getting that, like at all, nothing. Now I can get that a little bit, you know, and it's a cherry scent, not as sweet as Tom Ford, and it's a bit more like woody, like it has some Palo Santo, I believe. Does it have some cedar? Might have some cedar, not sure. And I'm getting that burning quality slightly. I think that this perfume just needed some time to macerate. It's still not a strong scent. It's not as weak as it was when I first got it, because when I first got it 5 minutes later it was completely gone. I can smell it now for longer than that, but I do prefer Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Like, I do really like it, but I do prefer Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Now let's move on to the next one. Next we have Cherry Punk from room 1015. Listen. This one is cherry and leather. But again, the leather feels is not as velvety as the one in SORA DORA, but it's not an animalic leather. It's not the leather that when I saw on Fragrantica the comments, people were like, oh, it's a very, very strong on the leather. You can smell it. But it just makes this fragrance so sexy. It's again that sweet, sour cherry, maybe not as sweet as Tom Ford, but like very intense cherry, sour. And then you're getting that leather. It's so sexy. Like, I wore this one once and I got like 3 compliments. Oh, it's like I want to smell this like non-stop. It's different enough. It's different enough to own both Lost Cherry and this one. Yeah, that's Lost Cherry. That's way sweeter and very sparkly. You're definitely getting the leather, but it's like a soft leather. Don't be afraid of the leather. See if you can get a sample. It has a very good price. I think I have a discount for this one, like that, fairly priced. I think that around 100 for 100 ml. It's complete beast mode, very strong. Highly recommend this one. Next we have DUCHESSA from GRITTI. This was a blind buy because people were saying, and some people here on YouTube were saying, that this is the best cherry, so obviously I had to have it. I do really like it. I'm not gonna say that I don't like it. Besides cherry, it has an orange note. I spray my fingers. It's Definitely sour cherry, very concentrated. It smells very natural. It smells super high quality. There's something else. There's something like dark in the background. Definitely has a bit of orange. I'm getting just a hint of orange. It's very good. It's stronger than Tom Ford. Is it better? Tom Ford is very, you know, even though it's sour cherry, it's very, I know, bright and happy and delicious. But like, fun. This one is a bit more put together. I do really like the scent. It's like the darker sister of Tom Ford Love Cherry. But what I don't like is that for the price, the bottle doesn't feel like the most expensive bottle. I don't know. I'm just not happy, especially with the cap, that it doesn't stay at all. Like, I'm really not happy with that. And then the bottle, I thought it's just gonna be like that. I didn't think it's gonna be like this bulky, and yeah, it really annoys me. Also, the box, like, it felt, it's trying to be luxurious, but it felt very cheap. I have lots of expensive perfumes and I know how a box should feel like. Didn't feel like that. The scent is beautiful, it's just very expensive. Like, at this point, this one is more expensive than Tom Ford. Is it better? It does last longer. It's darker. It's definitely a more sexier take than from Tom Ford. Like, Tom Ford, you can wear it during the day, during the evening. It's fun. This one is a bit more sexy, but it's also more expensive, or kind of in the same price range. But I'm just not really happy about this, you know. Yeah, it's a beautiful scent. I'm not gonna trash it because it's a beautiful scent. But people are talking that it's like about this one, like it's the best in the whole world, and I have something to say it's better than this for the same price, maybe less. But yeah, it's a beautiful one. Now let's move on to more perfumes. I have obviously Venom of Love. That opening with the chocolate. This one is getting maybe similar to Tom Ford in the dry down, but the opening, that chocolate note is super strong. Is there like cherry, liquor, and chocolate, dark chocolate. It's stunning. It's so delicious. It's mouth-watering. Like, between this one and Tom Ford, I think I would pick this one because it's a bit more elevated. It has a bit more than Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Oh, I'll keep both of them, you know. But then in the dry down, it's getting maybe closer because you don't have that chocolate anymore, but also has this Middle Eastern vibe. It's a very strong fragrance as well. But that opening is to die for. Venom of Love from NAVITUS. And the last one that we're having here, it's not necessarily just a cherry perfume, it's cherry and almond. BODACIOUS from Bodacious from BODACIOUS. So many of you told me that you purchased this perfume because of me, and I'm so happy. And so many of you told me that you absolutely love it. Guys, this is not just cherry. This one is definitely stronger on the almond. But it's just, it's to die for. It has that amaretto vibe. It's very bitter, but it's just maybe the cherry slightly reminds you of Tom Ford, but this is like next level. It's amazing. That almond, I said before, with this I'm getting probably like 60% almond, 40 cherry. The overall feeling, it smells like this amaretto, delicious goodness. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's so sexy. Everyone loves this one. Every single person that I went to them, you know, I'd be like, says this. Everyone was like, oh my god, it's stunning. It's amazing. You need to test it. Like, ASAP, you need to test it. It's the best one of the best almonds, one of the best cherries, because you can definitely smell both of them. It's just amazing, so high quality and so delicious. And yeah, I'm done. That's it. This is the last fragrance. For me, this is not necessarily the best cherry, because like I said, I'm getting more almonds than cherry, but it's just a stunning fragrance, and this one definitely deserves more hype, way more hype. Like the other fragrances in here that maybe are hyped up and they don't deserve that much hype, this one, it's underhyped. Everyone needs to know about this one. Everyone needs to talk about this one because it's absolutely divine. Last scent that we're having here, Bodacious from BOADICEA. And that was it for today, guys. That was it. Please let me know in the comments down below what is your favorite cherry fragrance, and if you tested any of these, if you like them, if you don't, and all of that. And yeah, that was it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget the big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and like always, I'm gonna see you in my next one. Bye bye.